We are very proud of you. She is a very good leader. It's just that others were perhaps.
Amen.
And mother to the class.
Yes.
And auntie, we are very proud of you. You fought a good fight. It's just that it's democracy. So we are very proud of you. Now, some of you asked me that I shouldn't say this, but I asked her if it's okay for me to say it, and she said, go ahead. So I have gotten permission from her because many of you had said no. So we are very proud of you. Thank you. Good fight, but the struggle continues. Okay? Amen. We are proud. So no worries.
Mukono district is one of the local governments under Uganda government decentralization policy. It is located in the middle of Uganda. The district headquarters is in Mukono town. It is located in Mukono town, and it is bordered by Jinja in the east, Kayunga in the north, Luwero and Wakiso in the west, Kalangala in the south. Its main language is Luganda, and it's headed by the mayor, who is George Fred. His name is George Fred. At first, Mukono district was At first it was part of the kingdom of the Buganda kingdom. Then in 1967, the Buganda kingdom was abolished. Then it was named Mengo East. In 1974, it was named Chagwe district. Then in 1980, it became Mukono district. That's how Mukono came about.
Good afternoon. Evening starts at 5. Allow me to take you through the budget, our presentation. Let me start by defining the key terms. A budget is a statement of the revenues the government expects to collect over the 12 months and how it plans to spend those revenues. A financial year refers to a period of 12 months for which government plans its management of money. And the budget called circular refers to the direction or order that the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development issues to the local government to start the budgeting process. And then finally, the budget conference, which is a meeting attended by all stakeholders to brief them on the government programs and gather their proposals that could be included in the next financial year. Next. Allow me to take you through the budget formulation process also. Like our definition said earlier, the budget formulation process is initiated by what we call a budget called circular. It's the direction that the Ministry of Finance gives to all local governments, the higher local governments and the lower local governments, to start the budgeting process, which is in September. Then when the budget called circular, the order has been made, the district call for what we call the budget conference meeting, which is a meeting attended by all the stakeholders, which are the NGOs, the local councils, and the parish chiefs, so that they can come and propose what they think should be included in that financial year's budget. Or after the meeting, they go back to their respective administrative units, right from the parishes where they start the budget formulation process, which starts at the parish level. The parishes form their own budgets, and they start by identifying people's needs at that level. Well, then they push their budget estimates or their proposed budget to the sub-county, which is headed by the local council 3. And the local council 3 also look at the people's needs. They try to prioritize the people's needs at the parish level, as they're also forming their own budget, and then they also prioritize people's needs at the sub-county level. And then from the sub-county, the budget proposals are pushed to the next level, which is the sectors at the district. Each and every sector is represented at the district. For example, the health, education, works, all have their representatives at the district level. So when the people at the district who are in charge of those sectors also make their own budgets, and then they push their proposals to the sectoral committee. A sectoral committee are the organs of council. They are put in place by the district council, which is the planning authority for the district. So these sectoral committees clearly examine the budget proposals right from the parish level to that level, and then they also come up with a final copy of the budget proposals, and then they forward it to the district executive committee, which is also known as the cabinet of the district. So the district executive committee, which comprises the chief administrative officers, the assistants, the local councils, also look at the budget proposals, but for them, they really do not put anything. They try to look at them, and then also try to prioritize people's needs, maybe things that have been in the previous budgets. And then after the budget, the budget is forwarded to the district council, which is the planning authority for the district, for approval. But before that, the law requires that a district budget is laid. And by laying, I mean them putting the budget on the table where the district council sits for approval. And the law requires that a budget or a district budget should be laid by 30th of March in that financial year. So then the district council comes back another time after that to look or examine that budget. And then the budget is approved before the 30th of May. Next. Or allow me to talk also about the priorities or the reasons for the budget formulation of 2018-2019. To strengthen sports activities in primary schools. For example, schools like Namagunga Primary Schools, these are government schools. We have Kasao Primary Schools, so as to engage our students. Then facilitate community-based services like healthcare, education, through providing students with equipment like pens, pencils, books. Then another priority for the for the budget formulation 2018-2019 was to complete paying of the drilling rig, which is that machine they use to make boreholes, for those of you who have seen it. Then complete a section of the administration block. For many of you who know where the district headquarters are, you've seen that the building where their offices are incomplete. So, and this has been put in several budgets that they have formulated. And then to improve the district road network, to work on the roads within Mukono. Then improve housing for primary school teachers by constructing staff quarters within those primary schools, so as to make the teachers available to the students at all times. And the other is to improve and maximize local revenue collection. How do they improve and maximize the local revenue collection? It's through maintaining sources of revenue like the parks, where they collect from their park fees, the billboards, and then promoting good working relationship with Buganda Kingdom. Part of that tax money goes back to Buganda Kingdom, like Sharifa said. Mukono was part of Buganda before the abolition of kingdoms in 1967. So they try to maintain that relationship that they've had. Then to contribute to the Luero Renzori development program. And this is like for all budgets across the country, all local governments contribute to the Luero Renzori development program. And the Luero Renzori development program is a development scheme, a recovery development scheme that the current government put in place to rehabilitate the Luero and Renzori that were affected during the Ruero in particular was affected during the NRM struggle between, in 1981 to 1986, following the results of the 1980 elections. So the government came up with this scheme to ensure economic activity in that area, so as to make that place, to bring back the population. The people flee the place after that war, and then for the Rwenzori, after the insurgency caused by the Allied Democratic Forces in 1996 to 2003, also there was, the area was affected. So the government has made it mandatory for all local governments to participate in that contribution towards those local governments. Yeah, allow me.
I'm going to talk about the research findings, but before we go further, this budget requires balancing. Like, what am I talking about if I say it's balanced budget? The projected revenue should be equivalent to the projected expenditure. So we're looking at the research findings, and here we are talking about the importance of decentralization. We all know, as we covered, what decentralization is, the transfer of power, authority, from central government to local. So here, you get to find that the employees are given power, and they get to share authority at the local government. Then acquisition of knowledge on budget formulation. While carrying out our research, we got knowledge, we got to know, what happens, when this budget is formulated, the people involved, the stakeholders, what processes were required, you get. Then we also talk about the budget formulation policies. These are, before this budget is formulated, we come up with something like what is held to launch out this, and these policies are that law that Calvin talked about that is required by 30th May. Then we also talk about the act. We acquired skills such as interviewing, communication. These skills were acquired during that interview, interviewing, that time when we met the cow. We interviewed him, and he kept on responding to our questions. Communication, of course, we were able to get back the feedback. Application of the functions of public administration and management. We all know what these functions are: budgeting, reporting, organizing, coordinating. Then we also faced challenges we got to find out the challenges while there, first in this preparation, and the challenges are, the Kawa told us that sometimes the local people tend to aim for more, while of course that wish list, they tend to write more and they expect more compared to what is released in every district. So that's kind of a challenge. Then propose solutions to this. Of course, the solutions are coming up with a budget. Achievement successes registered by Mukono district. Of course, we know we got the achievements. OPD blocks were constructed, classrooms. Then release of inadequate funds by the central government, blah, blah. Oh, we're saving time. The challenges, these are what we faced there. It's part of the research findings. The study was tedious, tiresome. Of course, everyone knows what happened there. It was not an easy thing. We kept on moving, they toss you, but you keep going back because you're aiming for a certain thing. Inadequate or limited time. Some of these workers, the employees, of course, the cow, you tend to fix a program with someone, but sometimes the time is less. The time is giving you is less. Concealing of key information. That's obvious, like in every organization, they're not going to give you every information that you need. At least they will keep some things for themselves so as to secure their reputation. Inaccessibility to other sectors, such as health and education, were unable to access some of these sectors. Then we have ignorance on the importance of the budget among the locals. We found out that some of these people, the local people, are so ignorant about this budget. Let me call someone else to continue. Melissa.
I'm going to talk about the contribution of budget formulation to Mukono District local government. First one, they enable planning for revenues and expenditures. At the Mukono District, they plan of how exactly they'll contribute an amount of money to a specific sector. For example, if you're talking about the health sector, you contribute a specific amount of money that will be enough for them to contribute to health facilities within Mukono District. Then we have enabled the provision of social services to the people. We have been able to construct health centers, schools like Namagunga Primary, Kasawo Health Center. Then also we've been able to utilize resources, such as we've been able to utilize the resources of infrastructure, constructing roads like the highway we have in Mukono. Then we also been able to enable the district to meet its priorities. Like we've been able to the priorities of this district, we've been able to construct a block administration section, and also they've been able to contribute schools and also strengthen the sports activities in some of the primary schools in Mukono district. Then also it has enabled the district to manage, maintain, and control resources. Some of the resources we've been able to manage the ones of Lake Victoria. We have Lake Victoria around Mukono. Then also the roads, constructing more roads that will ease the transport of people. Yeah. May I invite the next colleague?
Good evening. I'm going to talk about the recommendations to the university. And as you can see, Uganda Christian University, we are just recommending to the university. It should encourage the lecturers and teaching assistants to engage students practically in their studies, like the way Mr. Pascolino did to us, making us go to the district. That's practical. Did I say something bad?
No.
I'm just giving an example of the practical lessons.
Yes.
Practically in their studies, and make it a policy for the students to be engaged practically by going to the field, which we did. This strategy equips students with practical skills on how they will administer in their respective occupation after their studies. Then the questions. As a student of public administration and management, studying public budgeting, with relevant examples, discuss the budget formulation process at higher local governments. Then question 2, suppose you were the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development of the Republic of Uganda, examine the relevance of budget formulation towards the growth of the economy. Question 3, clearly explain the activities carried out after the declaration of the financial year in Uganda. I'll call upon my colleague to conclude. Thank you.
Conclusively, we wanted to let you know that the Luero Renzori program was designed and like they require every local government. I don't know if you guys made that in your local, at your districts. Then we are the pearl in the pearl of Africa. Thank you.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for your presentations. I think you guys should clap for yourselves once more. I think this actually closes the phase on presentation, right? Or is it wrong? It closes the phase on presentation. Is it? The other thing I want you to do